Hey guys, so this is another thoughts video. This time is for Samol. I've been preparing for this one for a while now. Because he's not your usual hero in which you bring him in, he does damage, kills everybody, that's it. No, he's so much more complex. He's so much more... He demands you to be strategic. That's what I love about him. And people may miss that on him, for sure. So let's go on what he actually says first.
You will pay for what you've done. Your God will return. I left the taste of blood. Your God will return.
Yeah, his voice actor, you can barely understand what he's saying. Yeah, so anyway, Samal does have an interesting story, but not in his actual story here. It's actually outside the game. We're gonna talk about that because, to be honest, when I read his game was with his story here, I was a little bit disappointed because it didn't actually answer some of the questions that I had. So first of all, the story goes in and explains how his father and his mother was his father is the dark storm sweeping all the abyss, and the mother the roaring cascade in the night. And then it goes, the molten lava is searing as the sun formed his body and spirit. All this philosophical stuff of how he was actually transformed. So if you check his inside here, you see that he's like a storm, like inside, just like his father, and all that. So that sense, so his parents apparently are not exactly the traditional way to have kids. Yeah, so it's like a demonish elemental creature that he was transformed in and created all the things that he has around. So that's really thinking outside the box. So the abyss is like a demonic world, and with his power that he got from both of his parents, which is the best part about him, best part of his mother and father put into one badass dude. And he pretty much defeats everybody in the abyss and becomes the king there. But since he beats everybody there, it gets to the point that he gets really bored because he never finds somebody as strong as him. So pretty much like Saitama, the anime. He has all this power and gets bored because he's like the most powerful guy around. However, then the fallen god here. Let me show you here. There you go. Macabre comes in. The story shows that he's a fallen god. So he was a god, but he was fallen. So there's not a lot of details with him. Hopefully one day they'll actually release him so I can get more details there. But the fallen god Macabre comes in, and Samol finds him to be like a threat to his power because he's pretty much a king, the king of the abyss. So he goes in and tells Macabre, we're going to fight. Pretty much tells him to go to a duel. So they fight for 7 days and nights, and it ends with a stalemate. So Samol, instead of getting discouraged, he actually gets really excited. Like, wow, I I fought with this guy, and it's so exciting for battle and things like that. So the thing is with Samol, he's like a creature that loves fighting, loves war, the carnage and all that, and he found some entertainment with Macabre there. So he starts talking with Macabre, and he notices that Macabre is has intention with his words. He's pretty intelligent. He knows what he wants to do. He has a plan and all that stuff. And Samal never really got to that point of thinking all that stuff. So the story calls him that he's been irresponsible. So he decides to give the throne willingly to Macabre. So when the famous time portal opens up, Macabre and Samol, with his armies, go out of the portal and start wreaking havoc on Antia. That's pretty much on the time of the Five Sages. So, He goes in and slaughters everything and destroys cities on a whim. But then Macabre gets defeated, and his forces and power go down, and he pretty much decides to stay pretty much calm there. Even though Morella wants to awaken Macabre and things like that, he just decides to chill, pretty much to stay here. Let me show you around here. Campaign in the Dark City, right here. Pretty much decides to stay here until he fully has his powers back. So that's pretty much how he actually stays there with the story. So it does make sense with his actual powers that he has right now. So I'm gonna show you that. All his abilities. Yeah, I did get him fully awakened. We're gonna talk about that in a second. So his abilities are 512 damage and gives a violence debuff for 5 turns. So the main thing here is the debuff. Because on my first thoughts video, I stand with what I said. It's not his ability to put the debuff and you try to hit it again. It's too much. It's really too much. But what I was surprised is his debuff has so much layers, so many things that you can do with it that it makes up for all the hoops you have to jump to actually go and do a crit, and a crit by hitting the debuff all over again. So I'm gonna show you here. His awakenings is around doing that. Sadly, the first one is if you hit the target with the violence debuff, you get a guaranteed critical hit. But in my testing, that almost never happens. Well, unless you're playing PvE, you could make that happen, but no, it usually never happens, sadly. So, awakening number 2 is the plus usual 10, and then the plus 3. It's, in my opinion, the nicest one of all the 5, because if he does crit, he gets 60% critical damage, so that's pretty nice. But the problem is that it's hard to make him crit. As I said before, he does not have critical chance right off the bat, so you have to give him critical chance with another way, and that's gonna be really hard. So plus 4 is 10%, and finally, with everything that I'm talking about with this debuff, this is nice, but it's not required. But if you can get it to plus 5, by all means, go for it. But it's not really required, really, to have the violence debuff not be dispelled. It is nice, but it's not required, especially if you're gonna go on the attack. It's not really required. If you're gonna go on defense, this is really nice to have because they're gonna want to bring in a cleanser to take out the debuff, and when they notice, oh, it's plus 5, you can't cleanse it, they're screwed, pretty much. So that's pretty nice if you're gonna put him on defense, but he's not really good on defense, but we're gonna talk about that too. So we are going to talk about the Titan. I actually have some footage from the Green Titan, so I'm gonna do that now. Alright, we're testing Samol here on Titans, on the Green Titan clump. A lot of problems that clump causes is that he heals, and it makes it a lot more difficult for people to actually beat him. However, with Samol's debuff, it prevents the heals and turns it into damage, so that's pretty darn cool for this Titan. So this is the team I'm gonna use. I usually try to use this team, but we're gonna try like this. Here we go. Oh wait, go like this with the Wukong. So the weapons I'm using is Wukong with the whip to make him a little stronger, as I don't have him that leveled.
Roses don't wither, but hearts do.
Colette with her weapon as usual.
The tongues of fire have no
Alden
secrets for
with
me.
Ruby's weapon to make him tougher. I do have him at 150. Samol with Sword of Naya, because this one specifically I have him really nicely leveled. So he's pretty strong, he can do the job.
Sigmund is
And Sigmund here with the Gara's weapon, so that's pretty nice. Alright, we're ready to go. Let's give it a try. Wow, that is really a good start. That is too good, actually. Alright, I'm gonna try to save the third one for Sigmund here. Here we go. We did cut off for the second one, so we can actually do it one more time. Let's see if we can get lucky. Get it again. So if you have a board full of reds, you can use all three, because he's probably gonna get full again soon. So you can use your best judgment there. Alright. Let's see if we can get more reds here. So the debuff is off, so we should try to get it as fast as possible. Oh, actually he does have the debuff, sorry about that. So let's see. There you go. You saw that? He tried to heal, but instead he got damaged, so that's pretty nice. Let's give it again to him. Alright, very nice. Right, snip, snip. That is crazy. Alright. Let's do the debuff again. Okay. Let us do this first to just clear the board. See there? It happened again. Just from the... So he was gonna heal, instead he got the damage, so... That is super. Alright. Still no reds. Alright. See if we can get something here. No such luck yet. No, we're super close. Please try to heal again. Getting super unlucky here. Okay, let's try to change this. See right there? There, he healed again. So that's what Samol actually prevents there. Hopefully we can get Samol's debuff again. Okay. So that's pretty much game over. He tried to heal and got damage instead. Really nice. Again. Alright. Getting a terrible board, but he's still dying. And he died just from Samol's debuff. That's incredible. And this was really weird ending too. So he did his ultimate and pretty much killed everybody, but he died as well. That was pretty crazy. So 45k, that's nothing to scoff at. That's pretty darn nice. And just the ability to prevent the healing for Crump and turn into damage, that's another level. It really is. If it weren't for that, he would have still been alive, and we would have died right there with a terrible board. It really was. So yeah, very nice fight with the Titan there, with Clump. It's the good thing about that. He pretty much, from only his debuff, he killed the Titan. You can see there that I had a terrible board, and I still managed to get the win, even though everybody was dying. Just by his debuff, he died, and all that damage was really nicely recorded there. And it's interesting enough that on Titans you can see all the damage that Samol does on Titans with the debuff, but on Arena you don't see the damage that he actually does with the debuff. And even in roars, you're not going to see the damage that he does with the debuff. So I think that's a problem from the developers from the game there. But I'm going to put some footage now from when I tested Samol on Wars on Rune Shield, which is minus 85% damage there, 85% from Rune Shield there. There you're gonna see how I actually use this debuff to defeat Zanya, and also to defeat Palmyra, amazingly Palmyra, with the debuff, because the debuff there, even though it is Rune Shield, he will do the full damage with the debuff with when Alia starts healing though. So check that out there. So we're gonna test out now Samol's debuff while healing on Rune Shield to see if it lowers in damage or it stays the same here. The team we're gonna fight here is very risky with the team I'm using now, but we're gonna give it a go the way it is. See how that goes. Alright, let's go. Let's see. We're gonna wait a little. Definitely trying to kill one, but first she goes off, somebody's gonna die. However, let's try to kill this guy first. Alright. Let's wait a little.
Mushrooming stripes!
Right. Well, that's a lot of damage.
I will restore you.
Alright. Let's see if this works here. Alright, he's out. Let's try to kill one now, but first. There we go. So that's why you have to bring in a really Rune Shield. It makes the damage pretty much the same. Alright.
Feel the waters of life.
I don't plan to use alright. This is the root one. Let's see if we can finally get this done. Let's see how much. 883 damage. Yeah, confirmed. His debuff does do full damage, even though it is Roll Shield. So that's pretty cool. Alright, let's do Wanda now. So with Rune Shield, you have to get a hero that hits more than 5 times, and then you do your usual damage there. It should do full damage. I can do this for the bows now.
Absolute power! Feel the waters of life.
Alright. So let's try to kill this one with help of his own healer. I understand the second one. And 83 damage, and
Game on!
hit him more than 5 times there, and finally, there you go. There goes the pesky Palmyra. So, let's see if we can just kill her with debuff 2 here, because that's what we're actually doing here. Oh, she has lifesteal? Apparently she has lifesteal in her weapon. Interesting. Anyway. So if we don't kill her this way... Oh, she did. Well, anyway. So, confirmed. His debuff definitely works there. See, every time that I test Samol, I do notice that he does really low damage, but he gets the job done. He gets the job done in many ways, especially in these types of teams that they want to like get full of heals and things like that, but he simply gets the job done. So yeah, he can definitely pull his weight on rune shields on wars. That's a really nice test there. You can see how Zanya died there with the debuff, and also Palmyra. Really nice ways, and also that she wasn't able to revive, which I'm actually going to show a quick footage of how I specifically killed Zanya in Arena, and that also applies for Reginald, Malford, every single hero that revives Colette. If you hit him with the debuff first, and then you hit it with another hero, they're gonna die. They won't be able to heal that one life to be able to stay alive. But that only works if they already have the debuff up. If you hit the enemy and kill the enemy with the damage from Samol, it's not gonna work because they don't have the debuff. So here's the quick footage there. Alright, testing Samol real quick here with Zanya. What I've seen, this actually worked pretty well. Debuff is up.
I'll protect you!
Just try to see if she does. No, yes, she did not revive. Very clearly there. So yeah, that's definitely confirmed. Definitely something that can definitely change the game for you, and killing those pesky immortal heroes there. So, another thing that I've noticed about Samol, which is important if you have heroes like Aurelia, Malford, and things like that, is that if you're gonna go and use Malford and Aurelia, people are gonna bring in Jane so they can start healing and sharing damage and all that, and it's gonna cause a lot of problems with you if they start attacking you. And in this game, everybody has Jane pretty much. But if you bring in Samol on defense, and pretty much the idea is that he goes off first, he brings the debuff, and then Malford and Aurelia go in and do their ultimate and their skill, and that's gonna make Jane's ability activate, and whoever has the debuff pretty much dies. So that's a good way to be able to enable Malphite and Irelia on defense. So Samol is not exactly the best hero for defense, but he is an enabler for multi-hit heroes like Irelia, Malphite, and things like that. Because Yang uh, pretty much wrecks your defense plan if you're gonna have these heroes here. But Samol is gonna help you out with that, especially if you have him +5, which makes the debuff uncleansable. So that's pretty nice. So we're gonna talk about his weapon real quick here. His weapon is nice. It increases crit damage when it's fully upgraded to 80% more crit damage. So that's really nice, especially if you have the +3 from his awakening. But the problem is that, as I said before, he does not have any crit. And it is, in my testing, it's really difficult to have him like go off twice in a row and killing a hero. So in this situation, you can try it out and get a weapon that actually gives him crit, like Lupita's weapon is nice to give him crit. But in my opinion, if you're gonna go the crit route, go for Karma's weapon, because Karma's weapon is always gonna give him that 24% crit damage guaranteed all the time. It's not, you don't have to do anything. It's always there. Especially if you have this weapon and also have a special effect 10% additional crit, that is amazing. So it's gonna be 34% all the time crit. So that's really nice if you have that weapon like that. And other weapons you can give him is the Steed Light's weapon. Yeah, he does get crit there. I don't recommend using Wukong's weapon because you have to cast the skill twice, and with him, if you're gonna cast the skill twice in the game, you're already winning, so you don't need crit anymore. So yeah, in this case, I do recommend using Karma's weapon, and because pretty much for lack of options here, because there's no really other weapons that gives a lot of crit. Hopefully they release others, but for now they don't really have other weapons that give crit, and this is unconditional. It has if it's completely upgraded, it's 24%, really nice. Personally, I like to use Malfort's weapon, and my weapon actually has the 15% defense pierce. So that's gonna help to bring in the damage for him, and also raise his attack, because Malfort's weapon has a really high attack rate. There, I'm gonna show you in a second again. So so definitely, yeah, those are my thoughts for his weapon. I'm gonna show you here real quick. See, 1,923. So that's the weapon that I have, 15% pierce, so it's gonna bring in even more damage. So that's pretty nice. Let me give a comparison here. The Ant is actually gonna lower his attack. It's gonna be 1,861. So I prefer to bring in Malfoy. It's gonna raise his survivability. So my final thoughts on him. Do I recommend getting him? Yes. I definitely recommend getting him. He does so many incredible things that no other hero does in killing heroes that otherwise would be a really big problem to kill. But I recommend getting him +0 because his abilities, it's like I said before, it's a lot of hoops to actually get all this running. So I really don't recommend awakening him just yet. If in the future they found a way to actually make him crit more or gain mana faster, then yeah, we can talk about his awakenings up until +3. But the way it is right now, with everything that is available at this moment, you can get him +0 and just see how everybody bends to his axe. Yeah, so I definitely like this hero a lot. It's really cool. Alright, thank you very much, guys, and have a great day. Bye-bye.